Well, howdy, this is Randy and Lisa, your chief memory architects from To Getaway Travel, and we are here at the brand new To Getaway Cantina.
Yes.
So, hey, this is what we're going to do whenever we run out of time in the destination. We're going to just shoot a little episode here in the cantina. And I think what we ought to do is we ought to start it off with
Tuesday travel.
Tuesday travel. So let's just do it.
Let's do it. Well, welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Travel. We are going to do things a little bit different today. We're going to talk about some things that we know are of interest to you all in travel. We're going to talk about the media and tourism.
We're going to also talk a little bit about what's going on here in the USA.
We're going to talk about the airlines and what's going on with them.
And then last but not least, we're going to talk about what's going on with the hotels down in Mexico and Caribbean. There's a lot going on these days.
Oh my gosh, with COVID, it changes by the day. And so we thought, it's been a while since we've put out anything about COVID. So we're going to just update everybody on how things are.
So let's start off with what's going on in the media in regards to tourism.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Every week there's something out there that it frightens people about traveling to Mexico or the Caribbean islands.
You know, the one thing I love about America is that everybody has the right to speak their piece and speak their own opinion.
Yeah.
But what really pisses me off is whenever the media, and I don't care which media you watch or which media you read, they're all doing this. They're trying to scare the living hell out of everybody.
Yeah, they are. And you know, from our perspective, we just really don't feel like it's truthful.
There's a lot of information that comes out from the media that is factual.
But there's a lot.
Some of it is really over embellished.
Yeah.
And some of it is just downright fake.
Yeah, it is. And so we just want to update you guys on what's going on in Mexico and in the Caribbean.
Because we've been traveling.
We have been traveling since June of last year. We've done upwards of 26 trips. So...
Actually, I think it's...
Oh, shoot. Here we
go. It's 26 for you and 28 for me.
I don't know if you guys notice this, but every time I throw out a number, he has to change it because he thinks it's wrong.
Regardless.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what? But, hey, cheers. We're going to have a little celebratory drink over this because we've been traveling and we hope you have too. If you haven't, it's time for you to travel.
Yeah.
So, let's go back into tourism and the media.
Oh, yeah. So, what is the media saying right now that you know about?
Well, one thing I know is that they came out and they just threw this thing out there that Mexico is about to go into lockdown, and they, you know, is Mexico concerned about their numbers? Everybody's concerned about their numbers. I mean, every state in the United States is monitoring what's going on within their state. Mexico is no different. In Quintana Roo, which happens to be the state that Cancun and the Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen, Tulum are all located in. They are at orange status. Orange status means that the hotels are at 50% occupancy, which they had gone to yellow, so they backed up just a little bit, which means they went from 60% occupancy down to 50% occupancy. The restaurants and the bars, the beaches, it's all at 50%. It's not a drastic change, but they're monitoring the numbers and they're watching and they're looking.
But the thing you have to know is these resorts all, you know, a year ago when COVID first started and they opened back up, they took all kinds of precautions to make sure the resort was going to be safe for you. Nothing has changed there.
No,
it's all the same.
The precautions are still in place. Everything is still there. The only thing that's changed during travel is that the USA requires you to now have a COVID test upon re-entry back into the US within 72 hours. The hotels took it upon themselves to take care of getting lab workers to come to their resorts to do those tests.
Most of them are included.
Most of them are included at no extra charge. And so, and then they took it upon themselves to also, if you do pop a positive test, to quarantine you on their dime.
In one of their rooms.
In one of their rooms. Some hotels, though, and depending upon which country you're in, some of them have quarantine stations set up at different hotels.
Yeah.
But most of the hotels that we deal with, they have the quarantine right there in the same hotel you're staying.
Right. And you have room service come to you, bring your meal to your door. You have to go outside and pick it up. But we haven't known of anybody that has,
has popped a positive.
Popped a positive.
None of our clients have. We don't know of any have. But, the media, they're going to come up with some statistic that they just kind of reached up into the air and pulled out and said, guess what's fact?
Yeah.
And guess what? That's fake news.
Yeah, don't let that scare you. Do your research.
Do your research.
Call us.
Or call us. And we will point you to all the sources that we research and all the sources that we know of.
By the way, if you have any specific questions that we don't answer during this video, please post them down below and we'll get answers back to you.
Absolutely we will. We'll follow right back up with you. Typically we follow up in the same day. Most of the time we follow up within 4 to 6 hours. So we look forward to getting comments from you. While we're at it, don't forget to subscribe and please share this channel. So rest assured that we are on top of what's going on. We have some great resources that we reach out to that lets us know what every country is requiring in regard to restrictions and entering their country. So, if you have questions, reach out to us. We can definitely get those answered for you.
Yeah.
All right, our next topic, what we want to talk about is what's going on in the USA.
Yeah, and this is not so much from a travel perspective, traveling in the USA, because I don't think we could answer all the questions that there are out there about traveling in the USA.
There's absolutely no way, because every state is completely different. Every state is doing something different. Some states are open, some states are closed, some are partially open, some are partially closed.
We can tell you Florida is pretty easy to travel to. We know that.
We do know that. And we know that Texas is pretty easy to travel to as well. But what I wanted to also hit on is what's going on in the USA is that many people who had their weddings booked for 2020 who had to cancel. Many people who had vacations booked for 2020 who had to cancel. A lot of the hoteliers, what they did, and the tour operators, is they gave credit or travel vouchers.
Yes.
And that credit and travel voucher is good through the end of 2021. So what we're seeing, the hotels are all running at 50% occupancy. And so what we're seeing is all of a sudden everybody is wanting to use these credits. There's all this pent up demand.
Yeah, they expire.
Because one, they're going to expire, but two, all these people have been locked down. Depending on what state, and there's still some people that are locked down. Yeah. But they're ready to get out. They're ready to travel. And with the hotels running at 50% occupancy, it's putting a crush on the inventory.
Right. So, and airlines alike. We know in particular that airline rates have been going up.
Well, we're going to talk about airlines in a minute. Right now, we're still on the USA.
Shoot. I'm sorry. I get us off track all
You're
the time.
jumping the gun on me there, baby. Here, have a glass of this. By the way, this is one of my favorite wines. It's Ruffino Pinot Grigio. And they're not a paid sponsor, but maybe they will be if I keep doing this, because this is definitely my go-to whenever I go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, hey, Ruffino people, if you're out there watching, hey, kick a little money over here. We're advertising you.
Okay, back on topic.
We're
going back to the airlines. Right?
No, we're going back to the USA.
Oh my gosh.
So we've got people who canceled weddings that now have taken up 30, 40 rooms at a hotel. We've got people who's canceled their vacations, and now everybody's trying to get them all booked. And so there's a big crunch.
Yeah.
A big crunch.
Huge crunch.
All right. So now what? Let's go on.
Well,
let's
just say what does that mean to the people that are viewing? What does that mean when they go to book their travel?
What it means for you is that you need to start thinking 60, 90, 120 days or more out. So this waiting until 30 days or next week or that, I'm not saying that we can't get you into someplace if you just got to get away. But what I'm saying is the options are going to be limited because more and more hotels are selling out due to the fact they're operating with less inventory and due to the fact that everybody is getting this travel in.
Yeah, the
So,
deals are no longer.
yeah.
You might run across something.
If you're going to get a deal, I'm going to tell you that deal is going to be for 90 days, 120, 150, 180 days out. So start trying to think ahead, start trying to plan ahead. Don't be afraid, because with the airlines allowing free change fees on their tickets, that's not going to be an option. It's not going to be an obstacle, because now you can change at no extra cost. Now, if the most hotels are doing no change fees, depending upon when you travel. And so,
but you should always consider travel insurance.
You should always consider travel insurance,
yeah.
or travel protection,
right?
Because a lot of the tour operators offer travel protection. The difference between protection and insurance, that's for another episode, but we'll go into that later in a different episode. But you should always consider that, because most people don't have international health care. And so when you leave the country, your health care does not cover you.
Right.
That's why travel protection and travel insurance is very, very important. Also, in the fact that
you're going into travel insurance. You said that's a whole.
We sure are.
Episode.
We sure are. But you know what? It's very important, and I would definitely consider that. So we're going to segue into the airline portion, because it does kind of all go right here together.
Yeah, the airlines are. I mean, if you haven't been on an airplane in a while, they are packed, and airports are full again, and customs, immigration areas are packed again. It's just like it didn't skip a beat. But the airlines have, during COVID, they cut back on flights, they cut back on employees. And what's that done to the industry?
Well, it's done three things. Number one, they're trying to rehire back as fast as they can, and they're struggling with that, simply because a lot of states are still paying unemployment, which a lot of them are going, well, wait a minute, I'm making almost as much as I was when I was working, and I'm not working, so I'm just going to hang on for a little bit. I don't need a job right this moment. So that's one thing that's causing some problems. The other thing is it's bottlenecked the industry to where there's a shortage of employees. They're trying to get more flights going. Granted, leisure travel is where the airlines is focusing right now, because business travel, the latest numbers I saw, has only come back to like 32%. So it's 68% off from where it was pre-COVID.
Yeah, because a lot of people they've learned that they can do things remotely over the past year. If there's nothing else people learned, was you can do all kinds of things remotely.
Absolutely.
School, that's a different topic. But people even travel with their kids in school and have school on Zoom in their hotel room, and then play during breaks.
We've got certain hotel partners that have now packages that include free IT support while you're in the destination. So if you want to go, they also have free, not free, but discounted clothes laundering while you're in the hotel. They put together these packages because guess what? You can work from anywhere now. But we're getting kind of a little off topic here. But the airlines,
we always will.
Well, yeah, we always do. But the airlines, so they're focusing on that leisure traveler. And
what about the fact that some airlines lost gates when they canceled all their flights? They lost gate space at the airport, which means maybe they can't come back as strong.
Well, they can't come back as strong. But the other thing is it's allowing other airlines the opportunity to come in and compete. For instance, here in Houston, I don't know exactly what United lost, but they must have lost some gate space simply because Southwest is now flying out of Georgia Bush, whereas they weren't before. Going into Cancun, we now have Sun Country Airlines that's come in, and they're running a Sunday-Thursday flight here in Houston. You take a peek at what's going on up in Dallas. Up in Dallas, Frontier Airlines has come in and into Dallas, and they're flying into Cancun now out of Dallas. Also, you've got Sun Country that's operating multiple charters, as well as Sched Air out of the Dallas airport, going into many different Mexico and Caribbean destinations. So what you're going to see is some more competition start to pop up. Another thing that we can, while we're in the airlines part here, is regional jets, private jets.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot more.
There's a lot more popping up now, to where it's not that much different to fly, depending on how many people are flying, to charter a private jet and fly your private jet down to the destination, because the air rates are going up so much.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Is air rates. I did a little research before this video and looked at United out of Houston first, because that's where we are, and just looked at Cancun and trips like every month between now and Christmas. And in June, the week of June 6th, it was like $1,000 to fly to Cancun and back. I mean, if you're going for good flight times, early out, late back in. And then,
but on the low end, it was still only about $700. So
I think it was actually more than that. Unless you're looking at basic economy, where it doesn't include your bags and stuff, and those costs can add up, right?
Right.
So then I looked in July, and it's about the same. I looked in August; it gets a little bit better. September, a little bit better. And what I mean is, it's like $600. We were getting flights that were $3-something. Well, before COVID.
We got some during COVID that were $220, $240.
Well, but
but that was back whenever nobody was traveling, but us.
Right, but before COVID, we were getting like $350, $380,
$400,
and we were booking maybe a couple of months out. Well, you look at January, you look at December, November, December, January, those months are really expensive too. And Randy explained to me that those are, peak times.
That's peak times. A lot of people travel during Thanksgiving in November. And then you also have, November kind of kicks up high season, which is when the people above the Mason-Dixon line, keep in mind, some of those states are still been locked down. Well, they may be unlocked to come here pretty quick.
Yeah.
And when they get unlocked, those people are going to want to get away.
Well, and explain how it works that Houston's air goes up. And sometimes it's a lot more expensive to fly from Houston to Mexico, which is only like a 2-hour flight, than it would be to fly from someplace like maybe Oklahoma City or something like that.
Oklahoma City, Atlanta, doesn't matter, because what they've done is they've cut out a lot of nonstop flights from some of the other cities throughout the U.S. And with Houston being the final hub going south, well, Houston then, if you think of it like this, think of those flights as being a chicken fried steak. All right, so if you're in Oklahoma City or you're in St. Louis, Missouri, or somewhere else, and you're going to fly on United Airlines, you're not going to get a nonstop in to Cancun, but you're going to fly to Houston. Your rate may be $480, $490, and then they're going to count on us people here in Houston being the gravy on that chicken fried steak, and so they just kind of jack the price up there on us Houston folks, and so we may be paying $610, $620.
Because it's whatever's left.
Because it's whatever's left on the flight, because they're filling that flight from what they call the feeder cities.
I don't know where that chicken fried steak thing came from.
Well, because that's the meat right here. They're gonna get the base of the plane. That's the meat of the plane.
Okay.
And then whatever Houston books, if they're willing to pay that price, they're the gravy on top of that. That's just the extra margin.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay, I understand.
Sorry. I got into redneck mode there.
Yeah, that's not hard for you to do.
So what I'm recommending, and I would highly, highly, highly suggest this: if you're looking at traveling for October, November, December, January, you definitely want to start planning now.
Yes.
Because now is when you're going to get the best rates, and not only are you going to get the best rates, you also have time to put down a deposit and make payments if you want to where you can spread that cost out. Because keep in mind, if you're an individual traveler, it doesn't have to be paid in full until 45 days out from travel.
But you're talking if it's if it's packaged with a hotel package.
Packaged with a hotel package.
If you're just buying an airfare.
Well, but that's what we do.
Well, I understand, but I don't want people to misunderstand.
We design experiential getaways for people in groups.
I understand.
And so
but on YouTube, the people that are watching this video may not be booking a package. They may be listening to this, and I want to make sure that they understand that you cannot pay out on a ticket from American Airlines or from United Airlines.
Correct.
If you're just buying an air ticket.
Unless it's packaged in with a hotel package.
Right. And typically you're going to want to get that through your travel advisor.
You're definitely going to want to get it through your travel advisor. And especially you're going to want to get it through to Getaway Travel.
Well, of course. Please use us.
and so, hold on a minute. I got to take a little break.
Okay. By the way, our website is To Getaway Travel.
Oh, looky here. By the way, did y'all know that we have an event called Guitars and Swim Up Bars? Well, check that out. It's on the website, getawaytravel.com. Sorry,
Okay.
little station break there.
Wow. I was kind of doing my own little station break over here, and then you got in and, whew, okay. All right, where are we?
All right, here we are. We're going to go now into what's kind of going on in Mexico, Caribbean, in the hotel resort world.
Yeah, well, let me just say this, that we have traveled, again, to Cancun, Cancun, Playa del Carmen area, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Punta Cana, La Romana.
La Romana. We've flown into those places, and we know what things are like there. We have not flown into the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Virgin Islands, and the reason is that the protocols have just been too stiff. We weren't willing to go through a whole bunch of hoops to travel. When we've got great destinations, that we can go to that were pretty easy to get into.
Great destinations and great resort partners to work with in those destinations.
But some of those are easing up now.
They are easing up.
We need to talk about that.
Some of those are easing up, and so. But right now, because we have experienced pretty much all of the major Mexico tourism destinations, and because we've experienced Punta Cana, La Romana, we can tell you what the actual experiences are there. The protocols are all in place. We've gone through this through many of our Tuesday travel videos of what goes on. The only thing that's changed throughout this COVID period is that the U.S. requires you to have an antigen test, which we talked about earlier in this episode. And so
to get back into
to get back,
you do not have to use anything. You do not have to take a test or have a vaccine to travel to Mexico or the Dominican Republic.
That is correct. And let me just preface that. You do not have to take the COVID shot to go to Punta Cana, La Romana, Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, Cabo San Lucas, any of those airport destinations.
Okay, so what about some of the others?
All right, some of the others, you do have to test within a certain period of time, and it ranges anywhere from 72 hours, which is 3 days, up to, I've seen as many as 7 days max. And so it just depends on which island country you're going to. Some of them require you to purchase insurance. And we talked about travel protection and travel insurance.
Specifically is doing that.
Well, there's several. Costa Rica is one of them that requires you to have insurance.
It's like the country sells the insurance, right?
Well, you can purchase other insurance, but they make it to where there's so many parameters on the type of insurance that you buy that it's just easier. It's just easier to buy the insurance from the country of Costa Rica,
right?
And not have to worry about whether what you purchased meets their parameters. They've made it a little bit challenging.
Anything else to know about Costa Rica?
It's a beautiful country.
Well, yeah, it's great. I can't wait.
The people there are very,
very
friendly.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got great friends down there with James and Jorge Taylor.
Yeah.
But it's and I can't wait to send some people to Costa Rica. So
we already have some clients.
We
do.
Right? We've got some getting ready to travel now. But depending upon what destination you want to go to, if you don't forget, drop a little comment down below this video, and we'll be more than happy to research what it takes to get to whatever island country you're wanting to go to, and we'll provide that information directly for you.
Even we didn't talk about this when we were talking about U.S. because we weren't really talking about travel in the U.S. But what about Hawaii? What do you know about Hawaii?
Well, Hawaii is requiring a test to enter. I don't know this for a fact. They were requiring a quarantine. I don't know if they still are.
Now, for some reason, I think I heard somebody say that they're not anymore. That it's just a negative COVID test within 48 hours, I think. But don't hold me to that.
But if you want to know, if you want to travel to Hawaii, we'll definitely look it up. Just drop us that little comment.
Yeah, we have access to all this information. Pretty easy.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know where we are on time, but all I can say is we enjoy doing Tuesday Travel. We hope you enjoy watching it. And we look forward to providing more Tuesday Travels for you. But more importantly, we look forward to designing your next getaway to wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
So reach out.
Yeah, please go check out our website. Please follow us on our YouTube channel. And put a comment down below. Tell us if you're liking these videos or not.
That's right. And be sure and subscribe and send a subscribe invite to 5 of your best friends.